Ouija boards. I haven't thought about a Ouija board in a long time. I owned one when I was a child, but apparently this guy, Paul Marsters, Marsters, has warned that deadly demons could be released by the boards if they are in the hands of anyone but mediums. We had discussed this last week. I don't like them, but he says Ouija boards are most certainly not a toy and should not be available for kids to buy in pound shops for Halloween. I think pound shops is a term for convenience stores in England. Never mind adults who are not trained in how to use them. What, pound shops? That's not what that is?
Poundland is a chain of stores.
Well, they have in this article, they have pounds. It's like 1 million with the little L and the squiggly line in it.
I'm just saying, in these parts, pound stores, they don't sell Ouija boards.
Yeah, right. I'm saying like it is the dollar store because a pound is a dollar over there.
Yeah,
you fucking uncultured swine.
I was just making a penis joke.
No,
but
no, I'm just fucking with you.
Okay,
it's an England.
It's an England thing.
Can I finish?
Yeah.
This guy says it does not matter if they are plastic or wood. If it spells the word Zeus, it is a demon trying to come through you, and you should not even say the name, never mind continuing to communicate with it. All hell could break loose if the demon is attached itself to anyone following around them. Nasty spirits can scratch and attack people and should not be messed with, as people could get seriously hurt. Oh man, listen, I love Ouija boards, but what the fuck is this clown talking about?
How dare you?
Why Zeus is my question, really.
Isn't that Greek?
Yeah, and I just don't get, so is the ghost of Zeus coming?
I don't know. I haven't done a deep enough dive into why that's relevant, but I do actually 100% agree with this crazy whack job. Even though he might be crazy and insane, I agree with him both in practice and in principle.
I have a hunch that you're just doing this to play devil's advocate.
I am not doing this to play devil's advocate.
Let's go. Let's see.
Okay. All right. So if you even read what the Ouija board is sold for as a toy, it even says on the box, communicate with the spirit world. So even in practice, they're saying that this is a communicative device for the netherworld. Okay. That's what Hasbro or Parker Brothers is selling it as. Then in the spiritual realm, with all the mysticism bullshit, they're like, no, this is an actual tool to speak to the netherworld, and you'll probably be taken over by a demonic force if you don't know how to deal with this. So not only are they selling it as a toy that speaks to the afterworld, it's also known in the afterworld community as an afterworld communication device. So it shouldn't be sold, period. So if it works, you're fucked. If it doesn't work, you're actually teaching your kids to pretend to play with the occult. And what if they actually get into it? Next thing you know, old Johnny's got himself a flock of seagulls haircut that he has dyed jet black. He's eating vegan granola, and he's howling at the moon on Saturday night while he's fucking with his Ouija board, stoned with his fucking drunk friends. There's just no good with Ouija boards. It's bad all around. They shouldn't exist.
All right. I'm taking some notes. Alan, go ahead.
I don't know. This Zeus thing has me all thrown, but I do agree with Murr on the fact that, I don't like Ouija boards, and they kind of fucking, a lot of people who like to do weird shit swear by them, as Murr said, as communicative tools to some other plane of existence, whatever that may be. So yeah, I'm good. And I sure as fuck don't want Zeus's ghost coming after me. So yeah, and for £1, that's fucking, at least you got to mark that bitch up. You got to put a paywall in there or something. You can't just have any old person fucking pulling the John Edwards and reaching out to the fucking netherworld. You know what I mean? You can't have that. John Edwards, presumably trained professional. Fucking Bobby in fucking London, not so much.
Right. John Edwards, presumably trained professional con artist and bullshitter, but that's fine. I get it. Okay.
Well, at the very least.
Yeah. So, okay. So when this gentleman, and his last name is Marsters, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So he's talking about people who are mediums, who are trained professionals in the world of talking to other people. Shouldn't be, only these people should be using a Ouija board, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm just
If they're to be used at all, they should only be used by a insane trained person.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
Exactly.
And somehow this guy's convinced that something that's mass produced by Parker Brothers or something else as a tool to talk to them should only be used by these people. Do you not see that? Am I not painting a good enough picture to why this guy's a fucking moron?
I'm not saying he's not a moron. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying two things can be true at once. Parker Brothers is simply recreating a device that was created by the occult to do what they market it to do. So I'm not saying that it does work, okay? And here you go. I'm going to go, okay, masks. Masks with COVID. Where do you stand? Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Where's your stance?
Wear a mask.
Okay, wear a mask. There are people that say that masks won't work. Here's my point, and I think also Bill Burr's point. I've heard him rant about this several times as well. His main point on this is, if you're right that the mask doesn't work, yet you wear a mask, it's no harm, no foul. But if the mask does work, then we've all saved humanity. You're the asshole for not wearing a mask because you could have potentially saved humanity by wearing the mask if it did work, and then you decided not to use it because you thought it was bullshit. So my point is, the Ouija board may or may not contact the spirit realm and possess Johnny and cause him to go through all these terrible conditions.
Right.
But if it does work, then we're fucked. So why not just not have it?
Right. Yeah. It's funny you're drawing comparisons to something that's been followed by the CDC and something that's been mass produced and has no science to it connected whatsoever. That's I mean, that's takes some balls to talk about things like that, but I get you. Yeah. But just don't use Ouija boards. I get it. Yes. A piece of plastic that sits on top of a laminated board that has A through Z. And when you ask it questions, man, fuck. God.
Look, all I'm gonna say is, like, I guess I kind of get your confusion, Wes, but likewise, I think you're attributing too much to the device versus what it's used for. Like
the intent.
Yeah, it's yes, it is a piece of plastic and cardboard. I mean, at Poundland, presumably, you could go to a nice occult shop and get yourself a wooden one, I'm sure. It'd be very nice, and it will do the same fucking thing.
Let me be crystal clear about it. Hold on.
It is a tool to do something.
Let me be crystal
like a gun.
Let me be crystal clear about this. Mediums don't see Ouija boards as a tool. Mediums point to Ouija boards because they are fucking con artists who want to make people believe that spirits can talk to you. That's the problem. That's the issue.
Maybe you're the issue because yeah. I feel there's a
bottoms
lot
up
of things in this. There's a lot of things in this world, okay, that we don't understand. Okay, we think we got a good wrangle on things because we're the highest thinking primates that have ever existed. We look out into the universe and claim to know everything about it, even though we've only seen about a 10% range of the entire existence of all things that have ever happened. We think we understand human psychology, though we've only studied 8% of the human brain. You know, we don't necessarily know if there's a plane of existence that we can't sense with our own eyes, ears, mouth, taste, and touch, okay? So what if the Ouija board is that connective device and you want to give it to an 8-year-old?
Gotcha.
What kind of sadistic asshole are you?
I get it. You want to base your decisions on hypotheticals. Fair enough. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Untapped science, sir. Untapped science.
Would be science. Even better. The science we don't know about. Let's talk in hyperboles. Beautiful.
The point is, there's no arguing any paranormal bullshit with you at all. Because you have this nothingness belief on anything that you don't see with your eyes and hear with your ears.
I'm sorry. Forgive me for not drawing or believing the fact that this clown who has no backing, who has no science behind him, is warning people not to buy these fucking Ouija boards at a pound a pop.
Okay,
Right?
I guess my point is that I had this was going to be a 3 and out question for later on down the road, but it was something to the effect of if you were transported back in time 400 years completely naked with nothing on you, how could you convince them that you were in fact from the future? So you didn't have any devices to show off, you didn't have a Bic lighter, you didn't have a cell phone, you didn't have any of this stuff. And I was just thinking I would just simply go down to a place where they're quote unquote practicing medicine and say, stop letting all the blood out of his body and I bet he lives. So just because we don't know something right now doesn't mean it won't be true later. Just because we haven't seen ghosts now doesn't mean we won't figure out that there are entities that could in fact exist in this plane that we can't perceive right now. And you just woefully throw it to the side.
Yeah.
Okay. So that means I'm the alternative is that this guy's legit. This guy has a legit reason for people not to use Ouija boards.
Can you yell at him for shoving all of his chips in like this, Alan? Can you do that first?
I mean, well, I want to say that you say the man doesn't have any credentials, but he's a member of True Paranormal Events UK. So go fuck yourself, first of all.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
just blind. So you know what? This I think brings me to a good point because me and the wife started watching X-Files because I never watched X-Files as a youngster. So we just started watching X-Files, and I immediately grew to like Mulder because like everybody in the FBI looks at him fucking weird, and Scully's like, this guy's kind of fucking crazy, but my man has committed to approaching everything as it was a regular case. So he doesn't just automatically write shit off. He's like, okay, this is the evidence I've gathered. These are the things that I found. It's pointing to this supernatural paranormal fucking thing. And you can tell me that it's fucking kooky and you can tell me that it's insane, but here's the evidence. Tell me otherwise.
Right.
And like I don't know that we necessarily give you tons of evidence because we are not professional paranormal investigators, but I think we've given you at least a little bit for you to be like, maybe, but no, you're just like, no,
okay, so,
impossible.
Okay. Perhaps I was daydreaming when we were talking about the Ouija boards. Exactly at what point was evidence presented that people shouldn't use Ouija boards other than your own paranoia?
Okay. All right. I'll handle this one now. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that there was any evidence presented per se, but if you look back in history, the history of the Ouija board, this thing goes back centuries. Okay. This thing goes back to like, I can't remember the exact millennia. This thing.
It.
Yeah, go ahead. See how far back a Ouija board goes. I'm willing to bet it goes back to like the 1600s of like the usage of this thing.
So they worked back then.
I'm not saying that. I'm not sitting here saying that with 100% fact that they worked because we don't know if they necessarily work. But it's one of these deals where people have bought into them as a tool for so long that they still exist, and they still exist so much so that there is a toy company willing to mass produce them because they know that they'll sell, because people are in fact so infatuated with the presence of spirits or the possibility of the presence of spirits. And even though this guy is a kook, I'm not saying he's not a kook, I'm just saying he's got a point. If this is what the intended purpose and use of a Ouija board is, should we so willingly give it to children to play with as a plaything? And my point is, because if it does in fact work, that is wildly irresponsible for human civilization to give this so willingly to the children of the globe.
Yeah, like I'm looking at the history. I mean, granted, this is Wikipedia, so somebody could have just made this shit up. But I'm going to err on the side that this is partially correct. Okay, so one of the first mentions of automatic writing, which is this method of like love using a Ouija board, so like psychic ability, allowing, someone from the other side to communicate. Anyway, automatic writing method using the Ouija board. First mention of it is found in China around 1100 AD. The method was known as Fuji planchette writing. The use of planchette writing is an ostensible means of necromancy and communion with the spirit world, continued and albeit under special rituals and supervisions, was a central practice of the Quanzhen school, and it was until it was forbidden by the Qing dynasty. So, yeah, necromancy, communion with the spirit world in 1100 AD. And it's been found in India, Greece, Rome, and medieval Europe.
So this thing's got a 900-year history, and there's probably more people that think that thing works in the history of humans than believe currently that the Earth is round.
One of the most successful dynasties of ancient China said, that shit's fucking crazy. We're going to outlaw it.
Bottom line, Wes, is I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just saying, what if you are? Why don't we err on the side of caution?
God, that should just be a new bit. It's just,
You know what?
What if Wes is wrong?
I'll believe I'm wrong when a fucking alien pops out of the fucking Ouija board and goes, "Hello, everybody, I'm Bobcat Goldthwait."
You son of a bitch.
That's it. We're done.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night. Well, I think.